on my face these L'Oreal Paris Miracle Blur products, one for the smoothing of the eye and then one for the skin of the face to minimize the look of lines and pores on the face. I highly recommend these products, and I went to a party this weekend and I recommended them to my friend who's, oh, she's spending so much money on skincare, but I feel like these are cheaper products that I feel like give you a visible difference, right, in terms of blurring. And in preparation for our makeup look to come, you know, I've been struggling to find proper moisture for the lips, not just gloss and oil, but this Elizabeth Arden Advanced Lip Fix Cream, I think may be the ticket. Apply a tiny drop to bare, clean lips going just beyond the lip line. Wait until it's completely dry and then apply color. I'd be curious to know what is in this product, but I figured, you know, as we are experimenting with makeup, right? It does get very cold here in the desert, but we're not going to let it get the better of us. Now, as I said to my friend at the party, she was like, and I'm hoping it's compatible with this Miracle Blur product because as we did see recently, I think I mixed a silicone and an oil-based or a water-based, two different bases of product, and it kind of ended up looking blotchy. But what we've done is put a few drops of it into our dish. We have our favorite silicone sponge, and we're going to use our little mirror and get this on the face, right? Just dot it on and see what's what. Is this the right color? Can we make it work? We gonna see. But I love this silicone sponge because it's almost like your finger, and then you don't necessarily mess up your finger yet. You can save your finger for when you need to, you know, finesse your bronzer and your contour and all those kinds of products. Now, should we have gone in with eyeshadow first? Not sure, because, you know, different people do things in different orders. Now, is this product too pale for us? Let's just work it into the skin and see where we are. But did you have a good week? Did you go to any parties? Or how are you feeling about the global panini, right? Some people are saying it's over and that, you know, the mildness of the current subvariant is a good thing because then that will boost natural immunity. Now, I was also hearing recently that immunity that you get from actually being sick with the panini, it only lasts for a short amount of time, right? And sort of looking at what's going on in Shanghai and the UK, infection rates are up, hospitalizations are not. So that's good. And, you know, I went to really the first party I've been to in about 2-3 years, just with, you know, folks I've been working with. Now, in my mirror, it doesn't look as crazy and ghosty white as it does in the monitor. Is this the right color for me? I don't know. I don't think so. No, I could use a beauty sponge that I keep at the ready to take some of this off, but, you know, let's see if we can rock with it. And then use contour and bronzer to kind of bring back human color, right? Are our lights too bright? So, you know, we're just trying to see what's what with it. I am seeing a little bit of texture under my eye that I would like not to be there. I hope this doesn't mean my skin is peeling from being in the sun. I've been doing quite a bit of gardening. Just, you know, in terms of getting our community garden straight and, you know, wanting to support the reopening of our local preschool. Maybe I can bounce off the very palest, scary looking areas. But maybe my skin is peeling from being in the sun. I do try to, you know, minimize my sun exposure, but as much as it's good for vitamin D purposes, it can, as you know, especially if you tend to burn, it can lead to some unfortunate peeling. So, in any case, we used a smidgen of that foundation, and we'll kind of leave it at that, given how pale it made us look. And now again, I'm not looking so insane in my mirror, but I am looking a little bit crazier in this camera monitor. Not the worst, but in any case, let's get into this Revolution Makeup London palette. It's so interesting. It's a neon shadow palette in the color Party Vibes, but then when you open the palette, the shadows really are not neon except for maybe that pink in the middle. It's sort of a pink purple. It's got a white. It is a lot of shimmers and then a few different transition colors, some darker colors. Should we get into this NYX eyeshadow base, the pale one again? I think so. Should we use a brush or our finger to get it on? Maybe let's use, ooh, this silicone-ended eye soother, right? Just to be very delicate and get some of it on the applicator and then get that onto our lids. Maybe not too much of this, but enough, right? And the silicone eye soother is a really quality applicator because again, it doesn't make you waste product, and you can it has a very smooth surface, so you can distribute the product without really dragging it around, you know, just so that it will give you the color payoff we all yearn for when we do our eyeshadow looks. I did wear a very exciting eyeshadow look to this party I went to on Saturday, and you know, what was fun was that I was wearing a very bright yellow shirt, and then one of my friends at the party was like, oh, your gold shimmer or glitter matches your shirt, which it really didn't look that way to me in the mirror at home, but I think in bright sunlight it really did kind of enhance the yellow of my shirt and reflected up on the inner corners. Now, another thing that I kind of was thinking about as I hiked and watched TikTok today was the notion of, like, I've been looking at myself and thinking, oh, I have hooded eyes. And one person was making the point that if you can see your lids at all, you don't have hooded eyes, because they were saying that hooded eyes means that your entire lid is hidden by the hood. Their suggestion was that this eye shape is called deep set eyes, meaning a lot of my lid retracts into this sort of fold of skin, but it doesn't mean that I don't have any lid visible. So what do you think? Are these eyes hooded? Do you have hooded eyes, or are they deep set? I somehow thought that deep set eyes were the sort where, I don't know, that the architecture of the eyes were different. That's what I thought, but maybe I was wrong. You know, I'm always interested in learning and doing a better job with all of my makeup. So I've been watching people with interest do their makeup, and, you know, sort of listening to different people talk about stamping makeup on as opposed to making little circles, right? What is the method that you prefer? So in this palette, we have a few different matte options. We have this almost shimmery blue, but we have definitely a purple, a pink, and a paler pink that are utterly matte. So let's go for this paler pink in the corner, right? It looks much brighter in the camera than it does in real life, but you know, it's pink. Let's see what we can do. So I'm just gonna tap that across before attempting to make small circles. But, you know, also what we want to do is use this transition color to set our eyeshadow base, right? And just getting that above the natural fold and thinking about a lifted shape, right? Thinking about all those great Victoria's Secret model eyeshadow looks that lift out toward the tail of the brow, right? And then the color kisses back toward the actual lash line. I'm just looking at the way that color pays off on our skin tone, even with that very bright, that brightening eyeshadow base. And then getting that into the crease, holding your brush by the end to make sure it's as gentle as possible. Small circles if you can, if you feel like that's giving you an application that you can enjoy. Not just live with, but enjoy. It's surprising, this palette on the eye looks much more kind of a Barbie look than it did in the palette. Let's see what happens when we add in those purples. But I'm not mad at this color. It's very, you know, Nicki Minaj pink print. And other side. It's looking like a kind of like maybe a bluish pink. And let's go back to tapping that in, getting it all the way across the lid with a lift toward the tail of the brow, kissing it back toward the lash line. All right, this is going to be the base of our eyeshadow look. And we're using a, not the biggest fluffy brush, but somewhat of a fluffy brush just to get this and the color payoff as strong as we can. You know, it's exciting to experiment and kind of see. It's like reading a book. Every palette is different. Seeing what is in that palette for us so that when we're going to put on a particular outfit or color, we have some kind of sense of where the palette can take us so that we're not surprised on the day. We definitely don't want surprises on the day, especially when we're, you know, dealing with people from work who may not be our biggest fans, right? If I had walked into that party with really goofy looking eyeshadow that didn't look purposeful and flattering, it would have been a different moment. I'm not saying it would have been the end of the world, but there's just something about investing the time into making your, you know, your choices, whether it's fashion or eyeshadow or any of your makeup, your foundation choice, right? Maybe this isn't the most flattering foundation color for me, right? Definitely don't want people to criticize you and be like, oh my God, Tanya showed up in white face with this very pale foundation on. You know, you don't want criticism. You don't want to hand people a reason to make smart remarks, because Lord knows they were making enough, not everyone, but a few people made more smart remarks than I would have cared for. You know, and I did not clap back. I didn't think that that was something that would be worth doing in that circumstance, right? I was there to vibe and support the host. Looking at this palette, what's next? A shimmer, a deeper color of pink, which is the center shade. That's really the one that looks neon. Let's see if we can get that into our outer V, and then if it doesn't pay off enough, we can go purple. We can certainly line the eye in purple. This is a pencil brush, right? From the same BH Cosmetics set with this beautiful red chrome. Just looking at our mirror, this palette is only $4 at Marshall's. List price is $6, so affordable. You know, Makeup Revolution does some really beautiful makeup, and it's very affordable, right? As I was telling my friend at the party, just dipping into this center shade, you don't have to, like, I think she subscribes to some sort of makeup or skincare service. It may be something in an MLM, I'm not sure. I have to look into it, but you know, it's fine to spend money, but just like with the, what is it, L'Oreal Revitalift Miracle Blur, right? I've tried the Kiehl's, I've messed with Charlotte Tilbury. You know, for what I need, this product, Miracle Blur, kind of gives me what I want more than other products. So I'm seeing intensity on this outer V, but I'm not seeing, it doesn't, in this lighting, and I know it's nighttime, it doesn't look super contrasty with that other pink. It just looks like a more, it's like a pinker pink without being, I mean, I guess that's giving us structure on the outer V. And for us, with our, whether it's deep set or hooded eye, we need to draw that outer V up above our natural crease so that we can see it, because if we just do it inside that fold, we won't see it, and that will be a waste of effort. And we don't want to waste our effort. We want payoff. You know, picture me in an outfit that would kind of resonate with this color palette. Picture me, I don't know, would I be wearing a pink outfit if my eyeshadow is pink? Would I be wearing a purple outfit or just wearing denim? Would I be wearing all white? Is this a wedding look? I think it's a little bit bright for a wedding, but it's definitely concert worthy. You know, it definitely amuses the eye, and also is some unexpected brightness. And I think what I appreciated about wearing a bright yellow top at that party was that, it photographed beautifully. There's no reason, we don't have to wear muted colors when we're not at work. So why not take advantage of that freedom, right? Just like with this eyeshadow, we don't have to wear taupe every day. When I was in quarantine, I really did watch with interest all of that, Dramageddon, all that stuff about Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson and James Charles. I watched it with interest, and Tati. Like, where are people going with these bright, garish eyeshadow looks? How can it be? So now we're gonna stamp some kind of shimmer on our inner corner. We have some choices here. We have this very muted blue, we have a gray, we have a yellow, we have a white. Should we go crazy and put the white on? Let's try it, right? You want a bright inner corner? Well, here it comes. And I've been trying to figure out the right shape to apply the kind of inner corner shimmer with, right? Definitely kind of mimicking a cut crease, but without cutting the crease, right? You want that sort of rounded shape coming from the inner corner. This is giving us terrific payoff over that bright pink base, right? And just stamping that, bringing light into that inner corner. And I think what I like to do is extend not really past the pupil, but we kind of want that inner corner to look like almost like the wing of a butterfly, right? So it's not a straight up and down shape, and then when we blend it, it kind of flatters the eye. And I've experimented on different days with different shapes, and this feels to me to be a bit more right. Like, some people like the halo eye, they like to put brightness only in the center of the eye. Whenever I watch that on TikTok, I'm always like, no, that's going too far. It looked pretty until you did that. Everyone's different. You should follow your taste and your eye shape and what you think looks dramatic and flattering, right? And this white is actually, it's a surprise how well it pays off over other color. And it has a certain, I guess in combination with the other eyeshadow, it has kind of like a blue reflect. So it doesn't look like chalk. It looks more like shimmer, if that makes any sense, right? And again, you wanna practice so that you get to the point where forgive the dog barking, by the way, get to the point where your eyeshadow looks amazing and beautiful and makes, I hate to say it, it makes other people question why they didn't make an effort with their eyeshadow, right? If you're going to be in photographs, right, working in television definitely shows you, A, how much makeup a lot of the principal actors wear just to look normal on camera. It also shows you how, you know, in shape or thin or, you know, sort of healthy looking they are. And that if you don't take similar care, you might not look as right on camera, right? This whole series is called what? Camera Ready. And it's about looking camera ready, right? You want to look good. You want to look right when it's time to be on camera. And you definitely don't want to be, you know, caught out there and caught lacking when it's time to be, you know, when it's shine time. And it's exciting to be, you know, in a film or on television and all of that, but it does have its kind of own disciplines. I'm sorry, I'm just looking for the proper brush to use that purple to make a shadow liner. And I used it in my demo of the acrylic storage drawer, but now I don't know where I put it. Or am I just not able to see it? Ah, here it is. This is the greatest brush I own. I own a bunch of brushes and I'm trying to get better at using all of them, but if we dip into this matte purple and use that to make a liner, or should we use our favorite Marc Jacobs eyeliner and then stamp over that black with the very lovely purple, right? Would that make more sense in terms of giving us, you know, the payoff that we're looking for? Now, as much as I try to be organized, I am finding it difficult to find my favorite Marc Jacobs black eyeliner. What has happened? Have gremlins got into the setup? Did I do something with my favorite black Marc Jacobs eyeliner? Is there an alternative for me? I don't know. What has gone wrong here? When I'm live and I need it, I can't find it. Is there something else I can use? Well, of course, I can find a Marc Jacobs lip liner, but that's not what I want. I mean, I have other eyeliners, but it's just not quite the same. You know, there's nothing better, I think, than that Marc Jacobs blacker liner, but I'm out of luck. I don't know what happened. I guess it'll have to be one of these other... Here's Teddy from MAC, which is a brown. Then there's a dark brown from LA Girl and regular brown. Dark brown or regular brown? I guess let's try regular brown, just so that the purple doesn't really fight with it. I feel like black would be a better neutral, but I really cannot find it. I don't know what I did. How embarrassing. But in any case, here we go with this Perfect Precision eyeliner in the color brown from LA Girl, right? Looking into our mirror and respecting either this, what is it? Deep set or hooded eye, right? We don't want to draw liner over our hood so that when we open or close our eye, that line is disturbed, but we want to look at our lower lash line and draw a line that reaches up toward the tail end of our brow. Right? And just drawing that in so you can see it. And then on the other side, same thing. Lower lash line, up, down toward that lower lash line, right? Maybe that's a little long, but we're experimenting. And brown might be a little bit warm, but we're gonna stamp over it with our purple, right? Just dragging that along. The upper lash line, it can be quite messy because of course we're gonna use our purple to set it, right? That's the theory with a lot of, whether it's liquid or gel, etc., right? Little inner corner flick that we will set with our purple. Other side, inner corner flick. And these pencils are quite nice because they go on without being like super dry. We've certainly had our share of dry eye pencils in recent times. So we have that liner on. The angle is good. I'm not quite satisfied with the shape, but that's why we practice, right? So, taking our favorite liner brush, it's very stiff bristles, getting that into our purple, right? See that on the brush? Beautiful, right? Looking at where we've applied our liner and stamping it over our liner to set, right? So it gives us that darkness underneath, but then we're layering it with purple, right? Not quite obliterating the brown, but wanting to marry it back into our color palette. And what's great about this brush is it really gives you a sharp inner corner, right? Just seeing what's possible with shadow in terms of color. And I've watched with interest as people also use shadow, perhaps with setting spray, to color their eyelashes or their, what is it called? Artificial lashes. So that's the purple on this side. In the mirror, it really does pay off quite nicely as purple. Then on this side, purple stamping over that brown, right? Reaching up toward the tail end of the brow, getting the brush back into there, packed with some purple shadow. It's a party, right? We're not going to be a lawyer with this kind of eyeshadow on. Are we going to a concert with this shadow? And it's incredible. Once you actually follow the map that you have in your mind, your makeup does make you have an eye shape that is enhanced and much more exotic than what you had to begin with, right? And from here, you can do any reinforcement or minor fixes that you like, right? And maybe the brown is softer than black would have been, although I am curious to see what the black would look like. I'm quite satisfied that we have our inner corner shimmer and it looks pretty symmetrical. We have 2 tones of pink, and we can also use our brush just to drag a bit of this purple under the eye. But let's put our eyeshadow palette away and just drag some of this purple under the eye to make sure that the lash line is properly emphasized. Right, other side, flipping the brush over and just dragging that purple across. Looking at our inner corner, looking at our inner corner, right? We have brightness in the inner corner, we have lift at the outer corner. It really is quite a dramatic look. And then we can also take a fluffy brush, right? This is our Jeffree Star Morphe brush that we got for cheap during the magical quarantine times. And we can look at where that pink shadow and the shimmer meet and really blend the outer edge, leaving the brow bone bare, and then kind of shifting over and just making that blend between shimmer and matte seamless. So it's not quite as paint by the numbers, but you know, you're kind of getting into that world that John McClane discusses, that world of seamlessness, right? And we can also flip the brush around, look at how that inner corner shimmer, not quite taking it off, but just maybe screening it down so that it looks more like it may have emanated from our skin. Are you seeing the difference? Blended, unblended. Not that unblended is bad, but it's those edges that you can use your blending brush. This is quite a fuzzy, maybe even goat hair. It does seem to be a natural hair as opposed to a synthetic. And so it calmed that bright white down without obliterating it. Now, other side, just working at that edge, not overtaking that brow bone, but just working that blend so that it's more seamless, and then working the blend of the inner corner shimmer and where the rest of our skin is, right? Now, a certain sort of person would take some sort of, I guess, a cotton bud or something of that sort to clean up the edges of the liner, right? That should be where our shadow ends, right? And we have these cotton buds that are pointy on one end and round on the other. And, you know, we don't tend to do this kind of precise work a lot, but, you know, certainly we can try it tonight and just get into our recycled dish, taking this little brush out, just get a bit of this simple, kind to skin micellar cleansing water into our dish and onto our cotton bud, just to try to clean up that very edge of our eyeshadow so it'll look sharp and dramatic, right? So dipping it into our micellar water so that it's damp, we grab our mirror and just look at that under eye and just finesse that line, taking out any shadow beyond the liner and making that line super sharp and crisp. See that? Right? You can fix any mistakes. Other side, just taking out any shadow that creeped beyond that liner. Just making it super sharp and lifted, right? Look at us doing what all the people do on the TikTok, cleaning up our eyeshadow and then just looking at that. It is a very dewy foundation, this Pacifica A Light Clean Foundation. Oil-free, anti-shine, right? But satin finish. So satin finish looks dewy, and that's not a bad thing. But from here, we can get into maybe the paler color of our bronzer, right? This is a powder bronzer, but then we can also think about getting into a contour color that is not a warm tone, right? If we get into our 123 Smile medium palette from our friends at the Creme Shop, given how pale this foundation is, right? This is a foundation, right? Clean foundation. Using this random brush that's quite small and using the palest color of our, I'm guessing this is a contour palette. Is it a contour or a bronzing palette? Unclear. Well, it's too late to not do it, but it's quite a light brown, right? Looking at where the top of our ear is, looking at where the corner of our eye is, right? I wanted to draw quite a strong line there, right? And this is a very small and unusual brush, but we've been definitely guilty of going in with very aggressive and big brushes that put more stain on the skin, that we lost precision. What we're trying to do is be precise, right? Precise in terms of where we put this color, right? Down the nose, other side. And this is more of a cream product than a liquid, right? I feel like those concealer wands that come from Makeup Revolution they're more liquid and kind of spread out a bit more. And look at us, we're getting those caramel smears on our skin just like all the big YouTubers, getting it on the jawline, right? Just kissing the edge of that jawline just to sharpen it up. And it really does, you know, it's funny because you listen to the theory and you're like, oh gosh, that's gonna look insane, right? Dragging it down the neck. But when you actually see yourself in photographs, as opposed to your friends who go to parties with no makeup on, it really looks very good. And it definitely looks better than nothing. And, you know, as I was explained to my friend, it's not that you need makeup. You don't. You look fine without it. But, you know, given the conventions of how we see people on TikTok and Instagram, if you don't have makeup on, you're going to look comparatively strange just because of the convention of makeup, right? That you want to have intentionality about whatever it is that you're doing. If you're just going to the grocery store, if you're lying in bed with your sweetheart, no, you don't need makeup. But if what you want to do is look good in photos, then consider adding makeup to the mix, right? So surprisingly, this color, which is the palest color, is dark enough to show up on this foundation and perhaps on our skin. You know, it's so seductive to think about the darkest colors and, you know, wanting that kind of really dramatic contrast. But is that needed? Is that what you need if what you're trying to do is have definition of the muscle structure in your face? And the more you watch yourself talk on video, the more you see the actual structure that lives on your face, right? Now we have foundation on and we have contour at the hairline, just using the same cheap brush that I should probably get rid of. I think I got it out of some palette and I washed it. It has the texture of a Brillo pad. It's not that big and it's not a really stiff brush. So, you know, my goal is to work through my stash of brushes, my stash of foundations, my stash of eyeshadows, and really figure out the things that work for me, that how best I can employ them to give me the results that I am looking for, right? How much of a wing is enough of a wing, right? Do I need it super long like this? Do I look like I'm going to be performing in Swan Lake with this much of a wing on my liner? Unclear. How much dewy shine is enough? Certainly we can look at some sort of powder to take down the shine just in the center of the face and keep it on the sides. But I'm not mad at this contour shade, right? The struggle to make it symmetrical, the struggle to give definition to that chin. What is good about this foundation being so pale, it really has highlight the highlighting places like the chin and the forehead, and let the contour do the contour work. So if from here all we did was powder and add a lip, I think we would be in a really good place. Now, what is the proper lip color to live alongside this eyeshadow. It feels like it should be something that has similar brightness in the lip, right? Here we have a Rimmel London Exaggerate Full Color Lip Liner that's plenty bright. So if we give this a whirl and see how it kind of maybe matches the strength of that eyeshadow, right? And if it's the right tone, we could consider filling in the lips with it, right? Is a glossy lip modern, or is it more modern to have a matte lip? Now we're not going to overline, because every time I overline these lips, it looks like I've been drinking chocolate milk. It doesn't look credible. And I can thank my parents because I'm not lacking in the lip department. And this is looking rather flattering. The cheeks are looking a little aggressive, so we should get that blended better. But I'm not mad. And again, this is a cream contour. We can take it down with a beauty sponge, right? That color is not a bad color for what we're trying to accomplish here, right? Just using a finger to press that into the lip, right? It's that whole, that notion of lip stain, right? What I love about a lip liner is that over the course of your day, and maybe just put whatever's left on the finger on our cheeks, over the course of your day, it really is going to stay on your lips better. Take that across the nose than just a lipstick or just a lip gloss. The lip liner is the thing that's really going to give you longevity and stain, right? And thinking about the blend of our contour, if this is a little bit too aggressive, right? They always say take your contour and blend it up. And I think when they say up, it's toward your hairline, right? That's blended, other side, up and toward the hairline, right? And then the jaw, you kind of want to press it into place and then make sure that you're blending it down onto the neck so you don't have like a super harsh line, right? Taking it down the sides of the neck, leaving the center of the neck bright, but also blending in that contour of that double chin. I've certainly been enjoying some amazing desserts from our friend, and looking at our nose contour and blending that up toward the top of the nose, right? So you're effectively screening down the depth of the color so that it's there, right, on top of your foundation, but you're just kind of taking it down a notch so that you're not in this wild place of looking like you have finger paint on your face. So taking off a good deal of that contour color, right? We put lip liner on our cheek as blush and just going to our very favorite NYX Professional Can't Stop, Won't Stop mattifying powder, just to get it in the center of the face so that we're not looking like we've been frying chicken. Hold on. Where is... I guess this is the best option that I have. I don't know if I've opened this yet. I feel like I have another one of these that's open, but whatever. We gotta get into it anyway. So just taking a little puff and getting that onto our little velour puff, right? Being very precise. Small brushes, small puff. Patting that into place. And you can just see how efficiently this small amount of powder takes the shine down on that nose, right? under that eye, just pressing it in to set the makeup, but also eliminate that greasy look. You don't want to look greasy at dinner. You don't want people to question, you know, the very basic feminine art of powdering one's nose, right? Not because the face doesn't produce oil, but because it doesn't look good, right? You want to look good, baby, more than anything else, whether you are male or female. If you are looking to be glamorous, enhanced, whether you want to be feminine presenting or not, right? Having control over your shine, having control over the color on those lids. Look at that eyeliner, right? Really looking at yourself and saying, do I need to do something different with my brows? Do I really need a false eyelash? We've thickened up our lash line just with liner, right? We were letting our lashes grow back after those very intense, what do you call it? Eyelash extensions that I think I would really have to think twice about ever having those again. Looking at that dry lip, that pink cheek, that enhanced bone structure, that tiny forehead. Look at that. If I turn this light off, maybe that's not the best thing. If I turn this light down, can you see it better? It just has this brightness. Look at how much brightness is in the inner half to third of that eye, right? Having more of that color and that shimmer blossoming out at the brow than at the lid or the lash line, right? So it kind of has this like feathered, kind of like wings look, right? We could add more blush, but do we need to, right? Looking at the muscle in our face when we talk, right? That's where you want your contour and the shadow to happen and be enhanced naturally. You want to streamline that jaw, right? So that all the extra bacon and, you know, flourless chocolate cake, which I did not know was made out of heavy cream, that you're disguising that. And then if the dry lip is not your preference, right? And just looking at how that blend made that inner corner white that initially looked sort of blue, but blending it with that pink and with that purple liner, right? Made it look like an iridescent, bright lilac, but it's really white in the pan. Look at that. Over top of a white eyeshadow base, right? And if you're looking for that gloss, if that's your taste, you can look at a MAC lip glass in clear and very carefully dot that on just in the center of your lips. Look at it, appreciate what it is, get just the barest drop of that lip glass out of the applicator, dot it in the center, right? Just to give you more volume right in the center. Dot that on the Cupid's bow, press it together. Do you want more? Don't go crazy, don't go disco. You know, I spent some time growing up on Staten Island, so the temptation to really let the colors show and really go ham with makeup is strong, right? Till the day I die, I'm going to be attracted to a white boot with fringe, a white pump. When I see them, I can't resist. The Staten Island influence is strong, but just a gloss in the center. It's subtle, but it's enticing, right? That shimmer on that inner corner, so much light. You turn your head, you blink your eye, it looks exciting, right? Color palette, we cleaned up that outer liner. We got some pink on the applicator, but we can live with that, right? But just really, I mean, I'm surprised how nicely this turned out. What would be the color of the outfit that I would wear with this very arresting look, right? And we just put lip liner, Exaggerate full color lip liner from Rimmel, and it really did not lie. It really was full color. And what is the shade? Pink a Punch, right? So a punch lip liner with MAC lip gloss over it is enough to balance out that very intense set of pinks and those purples, that purple liner over brown, not over black, and that inner corner white that really has blended to look quite lilac. It's white, but it reflects lilac, so it kind of has a duochrome kind of feel to it. Now, do we need to go in with more of an under eye concealer, right? We still have a ton of this very pale foundation in our dish, but I'm not mad at this look, and I'm not mad at the satin finish. I don't think we need to go crazier on the cheek because, you know, when you do a bright color on your face, you don't want to like, you think of your face in thirds, right? Forehead, middle part, which is your eyes and nose, and then the lower part, chin and, you know, lips, right? But to have this much intensity in the eye and some, you know, really beautiful color on the lips seems like enough. To go really ham on the cheeks too would look, you know, we're not on stage. We're not J-Lo, right? This feels like enough, and that you get that intense pink here, intense pink in the outer third, kind of illuminated with that inner corner shimmer. How beautiful. And really lifted up with that outer corner purple. Could we have done with a shorter wing? I think so, but I like the glamour, and I really like, I like a long wing, but maybe I should like it less long. But in any case, that's tonight's look. You know, if you're hitting the club, a concert, a party, something where, you know, a playful look, something pretty, pinks and purples, couldn't be more feminine. You know, there's so many palettes that are blue and green, and those colors are all flattering, but really thinking about your skin tone and whether maybe this foundation is too pale, but if you go over it with a cream bronzer, with a powder bronzer, just to balance out that lightness with some depth, then it really does marry back into the actual shade of the rest of your body, and it works. And you don't have to then spend a lot of time adding brightness in the inner kind of triangles of your face, right? That sides of nose and under eye. I could go in with a brighter concealer under the eye just to eliminate any suggestion of darkness, but I'm not uncomfortable with this level of skin and face showing through. I think we did a really arresting job with this surprising palette. I really didn't think this would be a neon look, but those pinks are, I don't know if it's a neon pink, but they are definitely intense and pretty. Our inner corner flick could be neater, but I think we did a bang up job. I am not disappointed with this in any way. And I think we look pretty and made up without going overboard and having too much product on the skin and too much color all over the face, right? You pick. Is it the eyes? You don't want to have eyes and no mouth. You don't want to have mouth and no eyes, right? If you're just going to have a strong lip, a liner, a mascara can be enough, but you could also add like some crease definition with a taupe or gray or something like that. But it's all about balance and making sure your face looks as dressed as the rest of you, right? There were people who came to the party wearing, you know, sort of dingy colors, black during the day, very intense colors that maybe weren't the most flattering on their skin tone. And it's all trial and error. You know, at the last minute, I was like, oh, let me wear this yellow shirt. Was it a little dirty? it seemed to have some specks of what looked like cranberry juice on it. But I figured, you know, I'm going to this party in a backyard. I don't need to be pristine, and I'm gonna have to wash it anyway. It's a shirt I use as color cover when I stand in, but it photographed beautifully. If you look at my Instagram, I'll post one of these photos so you can see, you know, I wanted to be at the party and look right, but I was really kind of amazed at how good my makeup, my eyeshadow, and my shirt looked in photos. It made me look pretty and feminine and dressed, like I had paid some attention and that I cared. And that really is what you want your nutrition game, your self-care game, your sleep, and your, you know, love for yourself. You want to do that work, right? Taking care of your skin in the sun and with nutrition and drinking water and all of that with the way that you dress your face, whether it's with jewelry or makeup or clothing, right? It really shows you off, and your hair and everything. But your choices then are curated on the day to make a statement, and if the photographs tell the truth, right? That you're not just showing up in black. You're not just showing up in white. You're really thinking about color, adding some excitement, some surprise, because you know you're not at work. You're not playing FBI or a cop. You're liberated to do something feminine and expressive, you know, and intense. I mean, we're gonna get into some goth looks. We're gonna get into some, you know, other kinds of color choices, but I'm not mad at this. I hope you're not mad. Um, you know, it's been actually really fun to surprise myself with, you know, just again thinking about hooded eye versus deep set eye versus blending as opposed to stippling as opposed to stamping. You know, I've been playing with highlighter, whether it's liquid highlighter or stick highlighter, which is more of like a cream, or powder highlighter. Some of the stuff just sits on the face and looks very artificial, but you know, putting it under your foundation can give you a different kind of eye-catching highlight on the brow bone, above the brow, on the highest point of the cheek, center of the nose, etc. You know, nighttime lighting doesn't necessarily show that off to the best of its ability, but I'm sorry, I'm like staring at my face. You know, I'm getting better, and I really, I was explaining to my friend at this party, I was like, yeah, you know, you don't necessarily know what it's going to be when you start out and it's a new palette and you haven't done looks with this palette a zillion times, but you keep working on your technique, the length of that wing, the sharpness of that inner corner, the best brush. Maybe a smaller brush would give me a better inner corner flick, and next time I'll try that. But you know, in the end, I'm not mad. I really encourage you to, you know, get into it. Get into your palettes, get into your looks. Try every product that you have. You know, try your micellar water, right? Look at your edges and see if you can like neaten things up, or, you know, if something has smudged or smeared, you know, if you want to tighten it up, get rid of any, you know, kind of distractions, just so that your photographs can be, you know, the best that they can be, right? That maybe your nose contour can be the best that it can be. And, you know, not being afraid to use the materials that you've invested in, whether it's foundation, brushes, even just keeping a small dish with some water in it, finishing spray, setting spray, you know, and mascara and lashes if you like, right? I got hold of some implements to finesse your mascara and separate the lashes. And, you know, that in the daytime, you know, if I really wanted to make my eye makeup less artificial looking, right? Separating the lashes. I understand that that's something that Audrey Hepburn did with a safety pin, right? Certainly now we have better and newer technology that might be safer for the eyeball, but it all works, right? you know, vintage glamour looks, modern glamour looks, euphoria, you know, whatever kind of glam you like, and you know, changing it. You can go goth, you can go grunge, you can do all kinds of things, but you are free to experiment and express your feeling and whatever style of dress you're getting into for the day. I thank you again for sitting with me for this, and I will see you on the next episode of Camera Ready here at House of Tanya. Thanks so much. See you next time.